Hey guys, Mike here. So today, I'm here to talk to you about 1980's Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, starring Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. In Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, after the rebels are overwhelmingly defeated on the planet of Hoth, Luke goes in search of Yoda while his friends are pursued by Darth Vader. And so we have Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. So guys, today's review was requested by one of my subscribers, Alex, who suggested that I should watch and review the original Star Wars trilogy. And obviously before that, I wanted to talk about the prequel trilogy. I've already done that. And I needed to talk about Episode 4 before talking about Episode 5. I've done that, so let's get into Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Everyone says that Empire Strikes Back is the darkest chapter in the Star Wars franchise. And while I don't personally think that, I still think that Revenge of the Sith is way more dark than this movie. It's very easy to see why so many people say this for Empire. Because in A New Hope, though they are trying to overcome challenges, you never really feel much of a danger aspect to everything. Sure, the attack on the Death Star definitely does reach some very tense moments, and they only really manage to win by the skin of their teeth. You never really feel like your heroes are in danger. However, that is definitely not the case for Empire Strikes Back. Because I would say that in A New Hope, the Empire seemed more of an inconvenience than everything else. This movie really earns its name, Empire Strikes Back, because the Empire show why they have control over the galaxy. Their overwhelming and powerful forces make the rebellion look like nothing. And this theme is carried out throughout the whole movie. The performances are still really good in this movie, everyone still plays their characters brilliantly, and as well you feel like the characters are starting to really grow into the people that they need to be. Luke starts his training to become the Jedi that he was always meant to be, and Han and Leia show that they are the leaders that they were supposed to be as well. And as well, this is the movie that really made Darth Vader an absolutely terrifying opponent. And this is shown for me in one of the only lightsaber battles other than the first appearance of General Grievous in the original Clone Wars series that's genuinely terrifying. Because Luke, in all his nobility, goes to try and save his friends and falls right into Vader's trap. But ignoring all the warnings that Luke got from Obi-Wan and Yoda, he still goes to confront Vader. And everything within Vader and Luke's lightsaber duel is just phenomenal. The choreography, the cinematography, the score, the atmosphere, everything within this duel is just pure Star Wars iconicness. And for me, one of the things that makes this lightsaber battle so amazing is the fact that the hero loses. And it would just be so ridiculously unbelievable if Luke won this lightsaber battle. Imagine this, some young person from Tatooine going up against this Dark Lord of the Sith who has received training from multiple different people. Imagine if they'd won. How ridiculous would that have been? Wait a minute, no. We actually have had that. We've had Rey defeating Kylo Ren in their first encounter. Sorry, a little bit of sequel bashing coming. It was so ridiculous that Rey was able to defeat Kylo Ren in their first encounter, because this person had absolutely no training whatsoever. I mean, sure, previously she's shown that she can handle herself in a fight. That's fair enough. But she was going up against someone who was trained from childhood by Luke Skywalker, and then later on trained by someone who was essentially Darth Sidious. So you're telling me that someone who was trained from childhood by two of the most legendary Star Wars characters of all time lost to this girl who had basically no training? Honestly, it would have been just so much better had Rey lost their first encounter, because it would have made her journey just so much more compelling. Because in pretty much all of their other encounters, there's just no kind of tension or stakes because she's already beat this guy. I mean, imagine this, Luke Skywalker goes up against Darth Vader in A New Hope and beats him. I mean, where's the stakes and tension for the rest of the whole franchise? He's already beat his greatest opponent, but thankfully, The Empire Strikes Back didn't go down this route. It went down the more logical route. This unprepared, naive child going up against the Dark Lord, and he loses horribly. Darth Vader lops off his hand and gives one of the greatest twists in a movie ever. Now, I don't remember the first time I saw The Empire Strikes Back, so I don't remember if this scene actually caught me by surprise. I would have to imagine it did. But even still, this scene just comes out of nowhere, because these two characters who have seemingly no relationship whatsoever, it turns out that they are related. I mean, just imagine that. And as well, imagine it from Luke's perspective, the most despised person in the whole galaxy turns out to be his father. Your whole world would just come crashing down at that moment, thinking that you were this great warrior of the light, and it turns out that you were the spawn of basically the devil. And like I said in my prequels review, Order 66 was one of the most iconic scenes from the prequels. This is easily, without a doubt, the most iconic scene from the original trilogy. Now, I mentioned in my episode 4 review that George Lucas over the years has made some changes to these movies, updating some graphics, adding some scenes, and as well, replacing performances. Now, at this point, I feel like this is where it becomes a little bit of an issue, because it's fair enough to kind of update some graphics and add some little scenes here and there. It doesn't ruin the movie or really change all that much. With these changes, you've lost two of the original trilogy's performances. You've lost Jeremy Bulloch as the original Boba Fett, and instead you've got Temuera Morrison as Boba Fett now. Because he played Jango Fett in the prequel trilogy and all of the clones, and seeing as Boba Fett now is established as a clone of Jango Fett, you would obviously have to have him come back to play Boba Fett so it would actually flow better throughout the whole 6 movies. I don't understand why this change is made, but you've lost an original performance which a generation of Star Wars fans will never hear, unless they actively seek it out. And as well, you've lost Clive Revel's performance as the original Emperor. It was only in episode 6 where Ian McDiarmid first showed up as Darth Sidious. And again, I get this change. You want to have the person who's played Sidious for pretty much all of the movies to fill in this role. And honestly as well, with either one of these performances, I don't personally have that much of a problem with it, but it is something that would need to be addressed. I mean, if you watch these movies now, their names are still in the credits, but unfortunately a whole generation of Star Wars fans won't know these people. And as well, something else I want to talk about, Yoda's first appearance in this movie. I never really quite understood why he acted the way he did when he first met Luke. Originally I thought it was the fact that they wanted to give the audience a bit of a misdirection, that this little annoying creature turns out to be the person that Luke's looking for. And it's a solid misdirection, but it's only recently clicked for me why Yoda does this. It's obviously a test of Luke's patience. Yoda wants to see how impatient this boy is, and by acting like an annoying little creature, he proves that Luke is a very impatient and rash character. And honestly, realising this just makes this scene all the more better for me. Overall, guys, Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, is an amazing film. The characters, the plot, the cinematography, the score, the effects, everything in this movie is just phenomenal, and it's very easy to see why this movie has earned its iconic status. But do you think you guys should watch this one? Absolutely. If you haven't seen the original Star Wars trilogy, then you need to check it out. I mean, even after rewatching both these movies, I still do prefer the prequel trilogy, because that's my era of Star Wars. That's the one that I grew up with. And even actually forgetting the whole nostalgic thing, I just personally get more engaged with the prequel movies. But no matter if you like the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy, just watch them both. Okay guys, that's my review of Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think I should watch next? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!